Welcome to Nanoscopic Drop, where I'll be giving the conceptions that'll be shipped to my true heart and where professional wrestling, my favorite sport, and yes, I can call this a sport, will say how does the event land and where will it be completed to the Athenaeum. And in this world, is how I engine my opinions and give out, well, afterward, I can also see all of you people have your own too. So don't forget, what's in your thoughts when watching yourself a set of matches and bouts? I'm not the only one who's doing this and exploring entertainment like this. You decide if you like it or not. Nobody's wrong with their own unique perspectives. So by kicking off the third episode of my newly born podcast, I'm in search of one particular pay-per-view today, which will be revealed in further moments. But before I buckle up, I would like you to please subscribe to the channel and knock the like button down and comment on what matches or wrestlers' work should I have thoughts on next. And Lugg's on standby. And so we're going to begin. It will be the AEW's latest pay-per-view that came out a few weeks back. And it is AEW Revolution of 2021. And I'll be giving out my opinions on these matches right now. And to first start off with the first card of the event, it is the Young Bucks versus MJF and Chris Jericho as part of the members of AEW's biggest staples, the Inner Circle. The tag team champions are on the line tonight, with the winners of the past few weeks on Dynamite of a tag team battle royal to receive a tag title shot at this moment at Revolution. And what started off the match was Matt and Nick Jackson catered their opponents with several blows and filled the beginning minutes of the bout with crushing their back body onto stereo sharpshooters before moments where Inner Circle has gotten the dominance later on. I mean, it was a really impressive beginning on that one. With a little help at ringside. Wardlow, as he's also a member of Inner Circle, his strategy pulls off distractions over the ref to the point where how his tactic will align at most of the match, carried with a lot of damage with maneuvers such as chokes, delayed vertical suplex, double flapjacks, front chancery, and the 2-time lion tamer. And what's surprising here is how that Jericho never took a finish of the Judas effect. We never get to see that there, surprisingly. And I meant that like unsuccessfully. He didn't manage to use it. It just never went down for it because of how he only drove it accidentally to Wardlow at ringside, which almost cost my match actually, since I really have full confidence on MJF and Jericho winning with hopes. What else? What happened? Well, Jericho's signature steel bat appear on the match and knocks the back of Matt just for MJF to do his heat seeker finisher, and to not only score anything with no 3 counts, no winning, no announcement for the new champions. And I needed the Inner Circle to win here, and luckily even the Bucks didn't score either when containing during the match the roll-ups and the power bomb slash Shinaru. Well, I can just call it the power bomb slash slice spread combo. It's pretty dope offense. Gotta respect to that. Though what I knew about the Inner Circle, well, they had the energy to come and back up, and especially when countering the Meltzer driver, the Young Bucks Meltzer driver, and forming forming into Jericho's Tombstone Pile Driver. That was his counter before moments later of before destruction. Jericho's Codebreaker, dismissing another attempt of the Young Bucks finisher. And MJF, when stopping the cover of the double V trigger, which couldn't be a way where Maxwell can come back after the numerous super kicks he ate that night. At that point, I knew that he wasn't going to come back for sure. I mean, obviously, you need to look at how the last minutes of that match, it just looked like he couldn't make it. The man was drooling. It looked disgusting. The way he sold it, it was just magnificent. It was just crazy, nuts. And so after those numerous super kicks, I wonder where was Wardlow after Young Bucks had ended victoriously with the Meltzer Driver on Chris Jericho with their second attempt. And well, obviously they landed well and retained the tag team titles. I'm honestly disappointed in that man's disappearance. Talking to you, Wardlow, but yes, and it felt quite noticeable at the end, during the end. Like how I said, tiny bits of flabbergast were there. I can't deny that this material wasn't as pay-per-view worthy or pay-per-view like, or material that doesn't like even resembled somewhere bigger than I expected. They should have done this actually on a Dynamite instead of Revolution. The performance was good. It was great, but not the best. Good job on the match though. I mean, I love them too, but I really wanted the Inner Circle to dominate, especially with how also a month or two they've Jericho and the rest of the guys recruited MJF and Wardlow. I mean, it was great, but again, not as worthy card on a specialty event. The timing was alright. Never have I left thinking it was rushed or slightly needed more. I mean, it is what it is. It was, I pretty much, it was acceptable. It was acceptable. That's all I can say about that. And to end that with the first card, this is a good one. The second card, oh boy, I think this is gonna be the longest one. This is my first time reviewing a Battle Royal. Well, Battle Royale, whatever. A Battle Royale match, which hopes it goes well tackling it. Speaking of the tag titles that we just heard over the first card of the night, the Battle Royale is up for grabs. If any team wins, whether solo or both man, on the canvas, earns a shot against Young Bucks for the tag team gold. Now, first of all, I love the format here, where each team runs to the ring 90 seconds. That way the match goes longer, thankfully. And I never seen this kind of concept, honestly, even on other companies, honest. Maybe I'm guessing that I probably seen one from Ring of Honor. That I could be wrong. Never seen it from the WWE. But just from this match, and it felt somewhere to 30 minutes. It felt half of an ordinary Royal Rumble match. The Dark here's how it goes. Dark Order made a standout performance for painting a mark of danger and stripping less chance for everybody else to chase removals. No matter the rest of the afflicted, three teams are there, mentioning the members of Dark Order. 5 teams up with 10, and we have John Silver obviously teaming up with Alex Reynolds, and Evil Uno's teaming up with Stu Grayson. Now, 5 and 10 has done a dropkick / fallaway slam combo and striking Santana and Ortiz. This imaginary ladder, and where the Dark Order's hunt crumble one man down after QT's Marshall's diamond cutter and thrown out 5 out, which I was really upset. I think 5 was the first man who got on and get eliminated. not to mention about the Dark Order, are the largest AEW faction out there currently, tying with I think Dark Order has way more members than the freaking Inner Circle. And to even book them there, it's such a harder task for the non-members there to wipe them all out. In this battle royal, Grayson and Iwo Uno captivated with a release electric chair assist power bomb, and 10 comes up with a spine buster. And what's very cool was the Gun Club appeared losing action due to 10 spear. Now, luckily Austin and Colton Gunn topped Peter Avalon and his partner Cesar Bonelli. I think hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. With their father's known finisher as the Famouser. Which we know Billy Gunn was a famous member, was one of the famous members of the DX group, and yeah, his finisher was the Famouser. That's what he was known for. QT Marshall attracted heat when eliminating the Gun Club, which led to Dustin Rhodes, his partner, as they both team up as the Natural Nightmares. Has a dispute. They're both disputing each other, and for that reason, it resulted to QT actually leaving his partner in the ring and infamously spit on him, which I wouldn't expect QT to do that. That was just I think that was probably maybe one of the best moments to kick off AEW Revolution. I did not expect that at all. And that was a really good turning point there. Now a new story is now I have a thing that now like a new story centering not only on the Natural Nightmares but the whole group of the Nightmare family. Who arrives? Oh, Bear Country. Now I never heard anything about these guys. These guys are brand new to me. They probably were at Dark. I don't know. I don't watch that much about Dark. But recently I've been trying to watch the latest episodes. So Bear Country comes out. These guys threw some flame from the star-stunning Bronsons, the members. Throw this how you say this? Bronsons throws out a Michinoku driver / seated senton, and wildly sharp of his partner Boulder's power bomb / vertical power slam. Grayson, I think that just to end that, like that was they made a highlight right there. That was one of the best moments also there, and during the battle royale. Never heard of any of these guys, but their moves was just amazing. It was just magnificent. I never knew they would pull off maneuvers like that. Those guys are heavyweights, huge heavyweights. And what came down on forward, Grayson's double Pele kick left Bear Country flying over Stu over the top rope, losing another Dark Order member, sadly. Man, I thought Stu was gonna be like one of like the final four of the match, but prediction wrong right there. A strong dislike spotted of how Marco Stunt assisted Hurricanrana led Iwo Uno eliminated, but so awkwardly. The way he sells around Marco Stunt. By the way, also part of a trio called the Jurassic Express, consists with the members of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I don't think there's nothing wrong about Marco here. It's just how Uno sells it, and how he sells it. It looked like Uno was actually countering the Hurricanrana into like a power bomb, which drove Marco outside of ringside, and for some reason, in such bad timing, Uno just ran straight to the apron, and then landed and then hit himself right in the ring post. I mean, it looked real stupid in how he sells it right there. So that gave me some, that was really was a really bad spot right there. Here goes the Butcher and Blade. The Butcher and the Blade comes in. The Blade pushes 10 out of the ring. Hot sequence of Bear Country again. Toss Luchasaurus, and Butcher does what happens next? Butcher does also surprisingly pushes the Bear Country altogether, and Silver and Reynolds are the last entrant, giving Cassidy. They're the last entrants of the Battle Royal since they only was limited to 15 teams, I believe. So Silver and Reynolds are the last entrants, giving Cassidy a double front flip DDT. Jungle Boy threw Alex away from the ring, and Phoenix wiping Silver, which we're now, sadly, Dark Order has been swept during the last 3 men, consisting of Phoenix, Pac, and Jungle Boy. So now this all starts with Death Triangle, Death Triangle are the members of Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, and Pac. And so Jungle Boy is the only one left to save itself over a duo. And sadly, I lost all of my allies there, to the point where I don't want either Death Triangle or Jurassic Express there in a shot. Since right now I don't really agree to them to be tag team champions. I mean, Death Triangle kind of lost my interest, or not lost my interest, but just mainly gave me my respect, since they've been facing another group like a few weeks ago, with Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade. So I always wanted to stick with Team Kingston. But moments later, during Death Triangle and Jurassic, when two Death Triangle members onto the only one member of the Jurassic Express, Ray wins, last eliminating Jungle Boy. Actually eliminates Pac, and then for some reason Ray Phoenix eliminates Jungle Boy. Surprisingly, I thought Jungle Boy was gonna have his moment right there, because I've been actually seeing him winning a solo match against one of the with one of AEW's, honestly, one of my favorite, I think probably maybe number one best AEW team around, FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. What happened a few weeks back, Jungle Boy actually won a pinfall victory against I think Dax Harwood. Yeah, Dax Harwood. And so they were giving a little push on him. And again, honestly, I thought he was gonna actually win the Battle Royal, but shockingly no. So Death Triangle earns a title shot, and I believe that next week, right now it's what, March 17th. So last week, I think last week or a few weeks ago, the days after Revolution, Ray was gonna have Ray Phoenix facing one-on-one with a single Young Buck. I don't know which one of us, Matt or Nick Jackson. But anyways, I lost, sadly. I think this is maybe by far the first match that I really love, and I think it could be match of the night. I really had fun. I was just really sad that none of my teams, my personal choices were gonna able to make it and succeed in having a title shot in their hands. I guess congrats, Ray. I guess do respect him. I love his ring work, especially outside of AEW. Hiroku Shida. Oh, there it is. This one was not that bad. Now, honestly, here, I think, what was the last pay-per-view? I don't remember what was the last pay-per-view of AEW, but AEW Full Gear from last year, there was this match, because I really don't watch AEW women's matches. I'm just not really interested to it. I'm more into the NXT women's division. And so I wanted to give it a try. I was like, why not? I mean, women's wrestling are fun too. There was a match it was part of this woman eliminator match. So just to look at here, Roku Shida versus Ryo Mizunami. Hopefully I'm saying that right. As the winner of the Women's World Championship Eliminator tournament, Ryo meets her rival once again after their professional wrestling career. They had faced each other before 3 times. But what sticks out here about why I wanted to watch this match was how there hasn't been let go in the previous fights. Is that no one got out as a winner, much more of a draw. So there was actually 3 matches that they had in their entire life with only 3 draws. I never seen the 3 previous matches, but I would love to see if this is gonna come with a 4th one. But I mean, by how it starts for this match, and by the way, this is for the Women's World Championship, as Shida is champion during and that night. So she comes and defends it. And here's the action. The cornered forearm strike delivers some massive chops in its first minutes here. It went rapid crazy that even Shida countered Ryo's chops for her, which met at the same pace. It's these types of games named by their significant strike that shows who can escape or overachieve it. Or just achieve it and run out with it in dominance. Shida did by countering into her Karana. Ryu built somewhere fun as a character and taunting before attacking, which I like. I like her character. She also has strength, according to how she paused in the long blower to toss the champion in front of an audience, which was a cool moment there. Honestly, the way Mizunami ate several steps of Shida's brutal spots that guaranteed put her in a doozy, that not only rising up but challenging how can someone retain a competitor like Ryo. Like here are the steps actually that Ryo had 8 in these vicious spots. Step 1, kneeling back to belly power driver on the entry surface. Step 2, the primary weapons, the clothesline and the knee strikes that loses force. The step 3, sharing elbows. This is pretty much the elbow game. So step 4, the straight jacket suplex. Step 5, the 2 enziguris, and step 6, the 2 falcon arrows. And with the 3rd falcon arrow that looked kind of botchy, but for how it displayed, Ryo's kind of countering it, but Shida gets up as if she did the finish, which was a very awkward moment at that time. Shockingly, Shida couldn't find help in her devastating knee strikes, since it never let her opponent stay snoozing after losing the title shot. So the only thing she thought what variation of a kick can leave her senseless to win, well, the spinning roundhouse was her choice at the end, and it clicked to retaining the women's championship belt. And why bother looking at the time? They've done a great job killing each other like that. The hunger was there, and the not so light-hearted attitude these women had taken. They look to be like friends, but not when it's them alone on the 2 in the ring. I really love this match, honestly, and this match actually makes me want to now go to the women's division of AEW, because the last match was not as great with Thunder Rosa and Shida. I believe this one was way more better, extremely better than the last one. Then Shida defended her title against facing Rosa. Speaking about some matches not being great, Chucky T and Orange Cassidy faces Miro and Kip Sabian alongside with Penelope Ford in a tag team, just a regular 2v2 tag team match. But you know what was a great part about this match? Was how Miro knows how to start. The way he starts the match is just so good. And it's by knocking them out alongside Kip backstage before the bell even rang, before they even come out to the entrance. They went Miro and Kip attacked the team, attacked Chucky T all the way through the squared circle. The best man questions Charles, which is Chuck. He just names him that for some reason. Weeks back during the wedding that Kip and Penelope were doing at AEW Beach Break. The best man questions Chucky if he quits, but brave enough, the best friends mate decided that the ref he wanted to ring the bell, and so it took several minutes for Chuck to ignite, but he was pretty sloppy. He was taking a lot of damage that night due to the bleeding in his arm, and then from getting face first on the door mirror. Several minutes that contact him pretty hard by Miro behind the stage. Orange Cassidy shows up in comeback by diving a forearm to the best man, unlocking the orange punch, the stun dog millionaire, but only to be stuck distracted by Penelope Ford. She gets pushed over at ring start for Miro swinging Orange Cassidy for a slide slam. He kicks Taylor for a super kick and a roundhouse kick, accomplishing the camel clutch, which leaving alongside a worried Kip and his wife to victory, earning a submission score. Miro and Kid Sabian wins. This was way too fast. This was really disappointing. I really wanted to see these guys go at it without Trent, since I don't know why Trent couldn't be there that night. It was way too fast, especially how this was built up pretty big in the feud here weeks back. That was probably like 2 months. And this wasn't my expectation coming as far as how serious the rest of the previous cards are. Take this one too and rebuild it next week. I will also see this at Dynamite rematch, 2v2 regular tag team match. For the love of WWE, for the love of AEW, like, you seriously left a noticeable error here, and a big one for Chucky T and Orange Cassidy facing, and with the Miro and Kip feud. Really disappointing. Did not like that. This one was not that bad. The big money Matt Hardy faces against Hangman Page. Risky, who the lucky head, shining eyes of big money sign. I do reply to be jumping up and down in excitement who can catch the mighty green paper that tackles how much are you worth than the other, and who will be the loser. That shall see what's to come. I couldn't lose any concentration on Matt. He smartly tries to deform the right hand of Hangman. He utilizes in cases anything that Page is needed to hold on to. It grows the effect of injuring him when he strongly uses his ring abilities. 3 times it took for a hand bending and munched from being pulled to the steel turnbuckle hook thingy. I really don't know what was it called at that moment. I don't know what it's officially named of. Hardy's big boot. Hardy's gives a big boot push on by the hand inside of the steel steps nearby the ring entry, and biting one finger while the rest are twisted. Man, Matt Hardy was pretty dirty at that one. I really liked this new character of him. I don't know what went wrong with the deletion character. I really love that character too. But man, this big money I just like how he reinvents himself right there. I mean, I love this big money character in his heel work recently. What went on? The great transition of the side effect failed due to the crucifix pin and flattened the opponent to a Death Valley driver. An early twist of fate had Hardy wanting a quick count out. Good move on that, as Page goes back into the ring in 9 seconds, close to losing the match by count out. A moment went by where I knew the effective hand lost grip over staying at the top rope, leading himself into a damn good German suplex. Private Party's interference was nice, especially since how they were pretty much heels at that point. The cowboy Hangman Page doesn't ignore and races a suicide dive to Cassidy and big boots to Mark Quinn. It played the man to rest to become the man to stand as. Big Money Matt reveals the side effect and the twist of fate, counting 1, 2, and none of the third. Dark Order attacked it on Private Party and held in helpful hands to push Hangman into his finishing lariat that covered 1, 2, 3. And he won the bout. But what I was waiting for, I was waiting for this match since this was called the Big Money match. And I was pretty disappointed again of how they never showed the mighty green dollar kept into the hands of Hangman Page. So the end stayed as leaving a win, but with none of Matt's cash. The timing was acceptable, but this bout is placed like a singles match. I'm left now with a false advertisement. Thank you so much, AEW, for the unfeeling hype on the Big Money match. I wish I would have saw the mighty green dollar, the mighty green dollars. Really disappointed on you, AEW. And speaking of disappointments, this was... Alright, let's just get on to this. The 6-man ladder match for the brass ring that will grant a TNT championship opportunity. Now, there was a mystery 6 opponent that I've noticed that it was gonna participate in the ladder match, and the 5 of them had done their entrance, and it will lead to be the last steps when someone would take before the bell, when it will rung. The all ego Ethan Page debuted here at AEW Revolution. That was such a shocking surprise. I never knew he would do that. Lance Archer becomes the first man to grab on the ladder and wiped everyone. Pentagon Jr. shuts down Arch's destruction by sling blading him through his hands in front of the ladder. Thanks to Jack Evans, he gives Max Caster the boombox. And Cody, Scorpio Sky, and Ethan were devoured by the speaker. The object did its job pretty damn well. All Ego traps the Murder Hawk monster into a ladder and being used to gain a super sick power bomb on Scorpio, landing them both in the Steel of Pain. Pentagon Jr. takes Cody to a ladder placed between the apron and the barricade, launching each other into Penta's flip power driver that ended up the medical staff and his crewmates of the Nightmare family checking on Cody at the stage near the entrance, waiting if he can still fight out there. If he can still come back and fight. And I found this pretty dumb and predictable move because I've seen this stuff happen before. And this move where now he comes back and obtains the brass ring, I just thought that this was going to be 80% possible. And as much as I respect him, I'm so disappointed and wanted Penta to actually kill him with another flip pod driver if he gets this title shot. He doesn't even deserve it though. Honestly, he already been TNT championship, but he had been fooled over his I've been fooled over his last year or 2 years ago decision and not getting AEW World title. That happened during the time when he was facing Chris Jericho, and he decided that if I didn't win, I will never get the opportunity to get my hands on the AEW World title. But what sucks is that his decision, he instead goes hopping onto where he presented a new championship called the AEW TNT Championship, aka, in my opinion, this is basically the WWE Universal Championship of All Elite Wrestling. This was really so pathetic on that presentation at that time. Before I leave on crying about my, of course, prediction that will lead to be true for sure, he indeed stands up and does a terrible Cody cutter on Penta standing to the ladder. Its execution was so bad. That's all I had to say on my negative side of Cody's performance. But by the way, how dull dull can this match go, appearing in and out? I mean, I'm not too convinced witnessing, by far thinking it's one of the best cards here. I mean, the formula here is mediocre and rarely goes somewhere new in this mountaintop matchup. But hey, I mean, on the bright side, I mean, y'all need to take a look at Lance Archer's chokeslam city, where he's been throwing down his chokeslams over most of all the opponents in the ladder match. Jake the Snake Roberts, as he's manager of the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, he clotheslines Ethan, but for some reason Pentagon Jr. super kicks him, leaving him uninvolved now, which I thought was a really cool moment for the Snake. I never knew he was gonna come back and do some maneuvers one more time. Surprisingly, Scorpio Sky ended up grabbing the brass ring and unhooking it, making it next week of Dynamite for a TNT title bout against Darby Allin. I mean, hooray and thank goodness that Cody didn't win the title. I mean, Cody had I think he had a bunch of opportunities in trying to get the TNT back. And I just think he's not ready for the title yet. I love the guy, but I really don't like this babyface character of the the Nightmare Family. I think he's better off just being heel, which I hope he'll do in the rest of the next weeks of Dynamite. Speaking and for bringing up Darby Allin, who's TNT Championship, he has a tag team match teaming up with a wrestling legend that's been heard of in the WCW world and the WWE, and the NWA, I think NWA, and in the Impact Wrestling Zone. I'm now in a state of curiosity since the cameras went shooting the match somewhere else in some kind of this abandoned storage building. By the way, Darby Allin teams up with Sting, facing Team Taz, with the members of Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. I was very intrigued with the setting here, of the abandoned storage building that they were heading towards too. I'm glad my boredom meter was never appeared during the match, since I wanted this to be just a regular tag team match than a street fight. Because whenever I see street fights with tag teams, especially when I'm seeing Sting facing for the first time, I still hadn't seen his a couple of matches that he did on WWE. I never seen those yet. I don't think I had ever seen also a WCW match of Sting or Impact that, as I remember, I don't remember him having to face anybody. And for a first timer here, of me seeing Sting in a match, I wanted this to be a tag team match. I didn't want it to be very sloppy for a street fight. I was already assuming this was gonna be so slow paced and not that interesting, but boring and very predictable in how it was gonna go down. But AEW got it covered and presented it fantastically. After I said about my meter that it vanished so quickly. I praised that it never went down to the ring, which I thought it was. Sting and Darby brought out there, and I guess they brought out these fellow followers cheering for them in these face paint masks. I wasn't even mad that those guys were taking the numbers of advantage and attacking Team Taz. Instead, Brian Cage took out a few of them. Therefore, it cleanses those the masked people away from them. And not just as reminiscing it, I smelled dust and old man's feet stinking over the surrounding of the building. It felt like if I was just there. Good, happy old gosh. The weapons and the mess of the flattening boards placed next to empty spaces around the abandoned storage building. What happened? Why would I want? Why would I want to spill more than when you have to see the moments and the breaking points? Why am I the only one thinking this felt like an action, like an action television episode? I mean, come on. I mean, this felt like an action television episode. And because the Emmys are going to need them in an award nomination for this intense showcase that everybody has taken that everybody has taken the harm on this match. It was brutal. I would, you know what, honestly, I would not want anybody to know the rest of these action, specifically in this match. I mean, I would like to keep this a secret. This is the biggest of my opinions, because this match, all I can say, this was so good. What else? It feels like if I'm spoiling it feels like I'm spoiling like a TV series. Like I think honestly this is not necessary to bring it up, because I really don't want to spoil anything from here. Like, you guys need to watch it. Like, I think you'll know what I mean when you're watching the format of this, because that way you'll probably get like, oh, why this feels like an action-packed episode of some television show. Like, honestly, you guys need to watch it. I wouldn't even want to say anything right now of how it went down specifically. You guys need to watch it. It's a really great match. I think probably maybe the second or first best card of the night. And what I'd like to start off, the main event. Oh, this have gone quickly. The main event will be Jon Moxley facing against the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega. Let me see. I had some notes jotted down when I was watching the match. I mean, this is the main event. This was gonna go for what was it called? The exploding barbed wire match. I was really excited for this one. And there were some notes that I got here, because I really found some good stuff out there in the match that I really liked. Well, I noticed that they were rubbing off and pushing away from contacting the barbed wire. Later on, when Mox was proven to be taking over the match, Omega quickly gets some baby powder and throws it at him, just leaving him blind for a moment. And what happens here? My bad. And what happens here is there's this shin breaker that comes out with applying with the trash can. It was very cool. There was this maneuver of the figure four-way that saved. That has been countered by Moxley hitting Omega with the barbed wire steel chair. And then the second figure four leg lock was applied, reversed by pushing Kenny into an explosive barbed wire, and again by a drop kick. Moxley wrapped his shoulders with the barbed wire, which looked pretty intense. I mean, I guess he was probably already used to these kind of death matches. Oh wait, yeah, obviously, yeah, because I also knew him by his work from CZW. I knew that he was there. I just didn't really watch the matches a bit. I know he has some several death matches over there. Omega, what he does? Omega has Moxley with both places the Moxley's paradigm shift was applied on right next to right through the barbed wire boards that were placed right at ringside, which I thought they weren't gonna place anything, since they were gonna be pretty much on those three sides of barbed wire than the explosives. John puts his right foot on the explosive ropes, barbed wire ropes, just so he can avoid the 3 counts of Moxley's one-winged angel. I think that was an impressive kick out to start with. He actually had to risk himself just to get just to have the ref hear those explosions from the ropes, from the barbed wire ropes. The Good Brothers interfere and cost Moxley the match with having Omega using this barbed wire bat that once he threw it at the face of John, it exploded. And then what he did, then afterwards he would use the one-winged angel on the chair and retains the belt. I was really happy that Omega won. I think this match was great, but that is the part. Like, just imagine the community, the wrestling community, having to argue about which one would be better, or which had like the really bad moments and good moments of AEW and WWE. Since these major companies have been talked about on whether what's better, and from some groups, and what happened here? I was very speechless about this. So what I forgot about the rules over here at the explosive the explosive barbed wire death match. That afterward the match, it would have to, the ring would explode. Right after the match was finished. And so what happens here? Good Brothers and Kenny Omega left, while Eddie Kingston comes out in the ring and tries to save Jon Moxley. And so what he does, there was already 15 minutes, 20 seconds in of the before exploding, and Eddie Kingston instead just stays there and have to take the bigger damage, I guess, with what's gonna happen, and is anticipating the explosion. Then 10 seconds comes up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and what? It's very hard to say just how disappointing it was. I was going to an emotional state right here because I never knew Eddie, who used to be friends with Moxley, was gonna come out and be the better man and be a baby face around here and help at that time it was his foe, but I guess not, just due to him wanting to help his old buddy. And once the explosion sets up, there was nothing major came out of that. It was such a terrible, very botched, a big botch of an explosion that it was anticipating. It never let anybody to get damaged at all. Neither does Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. And what Eddie does instead is sells over the explosion that happened. I mean, the explosion was like little sparkles. It reminded me of like Gilbert's entrance, when instead using pyros they would use these sprinklers, something like that, or whatever. But there was nothing of a big explosion that was gonna happen, and they just left on a really bad move. And it was so disappointing that's gotta be one of the most shocking, one of the most terrifying acts of botch history in professional wrestling ever. Like people say, they would call this the Mount Rushmore of botch, and I indeed, alongside with, people bringing up about the Shockmaster's debut on WCW and Psycho Sid's mic work during WCW. and any other else that I cannot think of whatever botches that led to popularity and professional wrestling. But my point is that this explosion was so bad. There was nothing big came out of that effect, and I was really disappointed. And what was weird was like the medical staff had to come out there and try to see what was going on. Oh, is Eddie okay? Is John okay? I mean, nothing big happened at all. And it was just a sad moment. And actually maybe the worst moment that ever happened to AEW probably. Ever. And just how the way... And I thought 2021 was going to be... Well, you know what? Shut up. I cannot say that. We're already in the March of 2021. I mean, I have a prediction that this 2021 will be better than what happened 2 years back of AEW. I have a feeling this is going to be their best year ever. And just how it kicks off, it's just leaves you questioning. Could it be? I really thought this was a really bad moment. Really, really terrible, sad botch. I mean, it really crumbled me so hard. Like, I can't stop thinking about that mostly every day, because of how terrible it was. I wish I can forget. I wish we can go back in time and see that none of this ever happened. No countdown was involved during the bell ringing for its pinfall victory. Just have it no countdown and leave it at that. I mean, the match was really good. I love the match. Probably maybe third place. I could put there maybe third place on one of the best cards of Revolution. It's a really bad moment for them on this explosion. But otherwise, think about the entirety of the match. I mean, look, the matches of AEW were great. I think it's probably a 50-50 maybe. Let me look back. Maybe it gets its like. Should it be a 50 chance? I mean, look, there are some matches that are great, but there were some bad spots at that. And some of these matches that I thought were acceptable. I mean, the tag team match of Miro Kip and Best Friends. I mean, this was pretty bad. And the disappointing botch of again, this is my last time talking about it. And then the barbed wire death match was terrible. The big money concept match was terrible. It never even showed up. The ladder match. I thought the ladder match was gonna be the best card there ever. But in the show, but it never landed. It never landed well. It was pretty dull. There was nothing special. Nothing is like, wow, this is one of the most creative and one of the best ladder matches I've ever seen in my entire life of professional wrestling. It's nothing like that. The tag team match, it was great, but not pay-per-view worthy. That's all I can say. The match was great, but it's not pay-per-view worthy. It's not for Revolution. This would have been better if it was on Dynamite. It would have been better. I mean, Casino Tag Team Battle Royal was great. Sheeta's match was great. The Matt versus Paige was great. The tag team street fight match, it was amazing. I guess, like, how would I put it? I probably may put this on a 60%. Like, this was 60. This was a 60 for me out of 100 just for this match, for this show. I think this honestly could be maybe my least favorite show. Probably could be 80% for sure. 80% possible for that. But I'm hoping they can recover from this and when it's like, okay, like they messed up there. They messed up on these matches and some of these maybe one or two matches. And that terrible botch. I wish they just would have shut their mouth with the countdown thing. I don't think I have nothing else to say about this show, but good times, awkward times, bad times, all in one. Thank you guys for watching. I think this is probably the longest episode I've done so far. I'm surprised it landed on 54 minutes. Make it 56 since I'm gonna say my goodbyes. I love everybody out there in the ring. Can't wait. Oh, they done an announcement for Double or Nothing this year, which I'm hopeful for is gonna be better, a little more better than this pay-per-view. I'm surprised this is like probably the lowest ranked pay-per-view match of AEW that I've seen. Especially I think even the television specials that they had, like the little special episodes where they bring up like Beach Break or Fyter Fest, I think those can top this year's AEW Revolution. And I can leave it off like that. I would say goodbye, everybody. I had a good time talking about my feelings here. I have a feeling probably there's gonna be people disappointed about how I'm not bringing up these results of the tag team street fight. It's just that it's so good that like, why do I need to talk about it? Like, just watch it and you'll find out why it's good. Hope you guys have a good day. Cause Lugg's off to relaxation. Goodbye.